Today I'm going to be talking to you about the effects of isolation directly related to COVID on your mental and physical health overall. My purpose of this speech is pretty much to inform my audience or everybody that's dealing with isolation or quarantine from COVID about not only how to stay mentally and physically strong, but how to recover from being isolated if you do get in a dark place mentally or physically. So in our day and age, mental and physical health are an extremely big deal for what we do every day. Everybody has to interact with another human being today. Now they've tried to kind of limit that since COVID started, but our world is still a really hands-on environment. So no matter what you're doing, what length of life you choose, most of the time, a majority of it, you're going to be interacting with other people. But due to the coronavirus, that has almost all been ceased or limited. So in the last 6 months, I guess last March was when the lockdown started in America, everybody went into isolation or mandated quarantine. Their local government specified how long. I know in Memphis, it was a curfew in place for everybody by 10 o'clock, and only essential workers were even allowed out of the house. Now, personally, I've struggled with mental health extremely serious cases back when I was growing up. I was 11 or 12, and both my grandmothers passed away within 3 months, and mental health just took a skydive for me, went straight downhill, and it took me a really long time to recover from it. And actually what I did is I looked up on YouTube. I said, how do I regain a positive mental outlook on life, and how do I get back physically strong? And that's why I believe I'm qualified to talk about this topic and help others when it comes to addressing such a thing. My first point, it's broken down into three. One is the effects of COVID on mental health. One is the effects of COVID isolation on physical health. And one is how mental and physical affect each other. So mentally wise, some people, if you're like me, I'm a big people person. I like interacting with other people and getting to meet new people, and I have the most fun in a group of friends. But you don't have access to that during quarantine. So your bright spot of your day or your week or your month is kind of taken away from you because you don't get to do what makes you happy. And now most people might be like, well, it's not that big of a deal, it's only for a short period of time. But for extremely extroverted people like me, being in the house for any amount of time can be devastating to our mental health, as we don't get the happiness from talking to other people, or we might fall into a slight sort of depression. Now, another thing is, when you're at home, everybody loves to just watch TV. So we're watching TV, watching the news, anxiety levels are going up, depression's going up. We don't have a good outlook on life at all. Now that can affect our physical health as well. Now, we weren't allowed already to go outside, but thinking negatively about ourselves and others around us, that can lead to sharp declines in physical activity. Even trying to stay active in the house, you won't want to, or you'll just be the food that you'll be eating or ordering, none of it will be good for you. And that your body, that takes a toll on your body. One, you're not sticking with your normal routine, and two, you're not eating right. And when you're not eating right or anything like that, your body it gets out of whack, it gets out of sync, and that's not really what you want. And it can really negatively affect you physically wise due to being in deep, dark depression or suffering from anxiety. Now, physical health through COVID shut down everything. So that means the gyms were closed. That means your smoothie shop was closed. Everywhere you would stop in the morning to grab your Mean Green machine from the store to get you your spinach and your kale and your stuff like that in the morning, all of it shut down. So not only does your food sources get shut down, but your exercise sources get down. If you're like me, I'm not a big fan of running, so all of my exercise came from the gym, and the gyms were shut, so we had to do everything at home. Now, I don't know about you, but when I go to the gym and I see others working and lifting, it motivates me to lift harder. So if I'm not at the gym having other people push me, I really struggle with motivation. And if, with a lack of motivation and physical activity, but if you don't change up your diet and what you're eating, you'll start to put on weight. And now if you're starting to put on weight and you're not active and looking how you want to, then that's when it starts to affect your mental. And so not only does weak mental health affect your physical health, but physical health also affects mental. They've got a relationship right there, and they can positively affect each other, but also negatively affect each other. Now, the big thing that I wanted to highlight is staying mentally strong will help you be physically strong, and staying physically strong will help you be mentally strong. Both of them work hand in hand for each other. So if you're one of those people that is struggling, like I did, with staying mentally strong, getting physically active can help you. At the end of the day, you're happy about what you accomplished. You're happy about, maybe you did 10 push-ups. The next day you do 11, and then 12, and then 13. You're increasing. You're getting better. You're happy about that. But not only are you happy about getting physically strong, but you're happy because your outlook's changing. You're like, dang, I'm getting things done. I'm accomplishing things. I'm doing better. So if you're physically doing better, you're putting these positive thoughts in your brain, and then you start to mentally do better. And once you mentally do better, you'll start saying, okay, maybe I can do this, and I can do this, and that, and all these different ideas or possibilities start popping up for you as you can work and get yourself back to the way you were before quarantine. So in the end, we're all going through it. We're all limited right now about what we can do physically. We're all limited right now about the interactions we can have with our friends. We're all in this same boat, but the difference is going to be how we fight it, how we combat the mental health and the physical health issues that can come along with COVID quarantine. So in the end, I just want to stay physically strong, stay mentally strong, and let's do it, folks. Thank you very much today.